Good morning, Facebook. This is Karina from Embrace Midwifery Care and Birth Center. I think if I had a brain cell left, I'd be dangerous. It's been a crazy few weeks. Lots of babies, lots of appointments, lots of changes at Embrace, lots of growth. And even business owners have growing pains. So lately it's just been a little chaotic. Thank God for my office manager, Amy Chandler. She just joined us. She is the right side of my brain some days, I think. Like, I'll do the clinic, Amy. You just handle the rest of it for me. I'm going to talk today about love languages. And the reason is that I think sometimes particularly, hi Laura, I think love languages really speak to us on all levels, but particularly during labor and the postpartum period. So the thing with love languages is it's about how do we best feel loved and supported and cherished and valued. How do people make us feel that way? And what is surprising for people who've not heard about this before is everybody's different. So I came to love languages, and there's a book out, there's lots of websites, so you can do your own research, but I came to this really honestly. And I came to it through one of my children. My daughter, Sierra, was everything I didn't know I needed in a daughter. So I was going to have a sweet little ballerina cupcake baking, girl. And she ended up being, because she had two older brothers, but still, she ended up kind of being a badass, rough and tumble tomboy for many, many years. And one of the things that happened when I brought her home from the hospital, because I had a hospital birth with her, is I wanted to love her and snuggle her and bond with her and touch her and kiss her. And she had colic. I'm pretty sure she had colic because she was so cranky. And one day after about a couple weeks, I just got so frustrated with trying to soothe her that I took her into her crib area and I laid her down, and that child kind of went like this, and she was good. And I learned right then and there that touch was not her love language. But I didn't know about love languages yet, so I kept trying to touch love her, because that's how I'm loved. I love touch. Anybody who knows me or who has been in Embrace knows that you get hugs and you get, I'll sit next to you on the couch, and many times clients will, they'll snuggle up with me sometimes and we'll visit. I'm very comfortable with touch. It's how I loved my boys, and it worked okay for me. But my daughter came and it didn't work at all. She pushed me away, and she pushed me away. As a baby, she pushed me away. As a toddler, she pushed me away. And by the time she got to her teen years, it was kind of an antagonistic relationship. I was trying to love her. She was pushing me away. Neither one of us was getting our needs met. And I stumbled across love languages. And what I found out was she was quality time. And she was no part of love language touch. So I shifted and I thought, okay, quality time. Quality time is eyeball time. It's eye to eye time is how I kind of pronounce it or say it. So I started taking her to chips and salsa and virgin margaritas and pedicures and long road trips and walks in the evening. And all of a sudden our relationship bloomed. And because she loved me, and because she was old enough to understand, she understood that my language was touch. And so she was able to then come to me and start to hold me and give me a hug. Excuse me. She was able to give me what I needed. So our whole relationship it just transformed. And we went through the teen years beautifully. We loved and supported each other appropriately. And we're still the best friends and so connected. She's now 24. But it made me really, really, really think, like, what's up with love languages and how do we use them? As I became a midwife, how do we use them in labor? And how do we use them in postpartum? Because what I found was if we're not being loved with our love language, we're not being loved in a way that feeds our soul. And if we're loving somebody, and normally we will love with our own love language. I love touch, I give touch. Makes sense to me, but if you're not touched, it doesn't mean anything to you. You might appreciate it. It might be okay. You might hate it, but it's not going to feed your soul, okay? So one of the things we really advocate for here sometime during the last trimester is I'll talk to my my moms about what's your love language. And hopefully most of our dads come to all their appointments, so we talk about it together. So there's 5 love languages. The first one is, for me, obviously I've talked about it, touch. And so touch is people who want to hug. And do you know that a 20-second hug reduces cortisol level, increases oxytocin, changes the chemicals in your body? So I often tell partners who are not touch, for the people who are touch, if you could make him or her absolutely blissed out happy in less than 5 minutes a day, would you do it? And they were all like, yeah, I'd do that. Hug them. 20 seconds, 10 times a day, 200 seconds time, divided by 60 seconds a minute, like less than 5 minutes, and man, you got him or her in the palm of your hand. Like they're blissed. That's good. It's an easy solution. It's a small part of your day that goes a long way toward making somebody in your life maybe feel valued and loved. Another love language, so and in labor, this is easy to do, right? We rub feet, we rub backs, we hold hands, we do hip squeezes. These are all love language skills in labor for women who love language, love touch. So the next love language is words of affirmation, and words of affirmation is exactly what it sounds like. And for Joy, sometimes I guess we use, Joy is our hypnobirthing instructor that we adore. Mantras or affirmations, words of are literally our own words of affirmation. I can do this. My body knows how to do this. But if you're a words of affirmation person, having your partner tell you those things, or your midwife or your doula, or really counts. So if you know that your words of affirmation and you're in labor and you have your team around you giving you the affirmations that you want to hear, I'm strong, I'm brave, I'm beautiful, my body is working, my baby is coming, whatever it is that feeds your soul. Joy, what's your favorite affirmation? Type it for me so I can share it. I know you're there. Words of affirmation build a woman during birth and during labor, especially if that's her love language. So another love language is gifts. And I am so not a gift person. Like, yeah, Heidi, my doula coordinator, brought me flowers the other day, and I loved them. They sat on my desk. I felt appreciated. I felt valued. They did kind of feed my soul. I'm not going to lie. That was a bad example. The fact that she thought to bring me flowers meant a lot to me. But normally, so here's a better example. So flowers or a diamond ring, like they both mean the same to me. Like I'm not any more impressed by a bigger gift than I am a small gift. Gifts just are a small piece. Oh, Joy, I like that affirmation. The path from my womb to my arms is short, safe, and wide open. I love it. So if we had a mom who was words of affirmation and we knew that this was one of her affirmations that she had chosen, or this was something that was important to her soul, our husbands, partners, doulas, midwives should all be using those words that are strong affirmations for her. Mama, the path to your arms is wide open. You can do this. Mama, the path through your womb and to your arms is short and safe. Your baby's coming. Those are words that would resonate for her, right? Because she would have already started to tell us that those are important messages for her. So gifts in labor, we can bring, sometimes if women are gift love language, what about a pretty nursing gown that you could give her? What about packing her favorite snacks? What about buying her a water bottle with an affirmation or a beautiful picture on it? If it's, what about thinking, we used to laugh about push presents, but these are women who would really value that. They would value having a gift after the birth, and they value a gift going into the birth. They value a husband who says, oh my gosh, honey, you're finally in labor. We've been waiting for this day. Here's a beautiful gown to wear while you're laboring. Here's new slippers. So think about that. So then after gifts is, let me think, I knew I should have written these down. I always stutter step with them. So we have touch, we have words of affirmation, we have gifts. We have quality time, like my daughter. So quality time is really, really about eyeball time. And so in labor, again, for a partner or a doula, it's about being 100% present. So what does 100% present look like? Because in our society today, we're never 100% present. Rarely 100% present. I have a rule in my prenatal office. I don't use my phone in my prenatal office because I don't want to answer texts while I'm trying to be present to my mom who's sharing her pregnancy experience and her questions. In labor, texting or chatting amongst ourselves is not present to the birthing woman. Talking in the birth room should be minimized for most women. Some women like a party. I just had a Trini mom who we partied through most of the labor. But that's unusual. And she was a fifth-time mom, so she was a little used to the process. But for most moms, they need that safe, sacred, quiet space where we're giving them quality time. We're respecting their space, and we're present to their needs, to their emotions, to whatever it is that we can provide and support them, however. So there's many ways that we can support women during labor, and how we do it best is by knowing their love language. If you're touch, let's say you're not touch, because this is, again, obviously near and dear to my heart. Let's say you're not touch. Not touch. In fact, I have a good story about that. I had a childbirth class and I taught love language. I sent them home with a quiz on Friday night, and Saturday morning we came back, and I had this mom who was a midwife client of mine as well, but she was kind of kvetchy. She was kind of like a snarky, badass type of woman. And when we went around the room and talked about what's your love language, you know, were you surprised? She started crying. So imagine this kind of snarky, badass woman crying. And I said, oh gosh, you know, what's going on? And she said, he's touch. And I thought I was broken. I thought I was broken because I don't want to be touched. And he wants to touch all the time. He wants to, if we're on the couch, he puts his foot on me. Like, it's all the time. And I always am pushing him away because I thought I thought I was broken. And she realized she wasn't broken. It just wasn't her love language. And I'm happy to say they are still married. They've had another baby, and it really transformed their relationship. So this really goes a long way to how we communicate, hi Christy, with each other. And no time in our life is probably as critical and as tense as labor time. Husbands and partners and doulas, midwives, we want to know how to support you best. And if I'm touch and I'm over there touching you, it either could irritate you. So I ask my moms, if you're not touched, let me know so that I can stay out of your space. But it also is not doing what you need. So these are the women afterwards that say, you know what, I felt unsupported. Nobody really got it. Nobody really did this with me. It's important. It's important we know how to support. Doulas, talk to your clients. Childbirth educators, talk to your clients. Midwives, talk to your clients. Partners, talk to your wives or your husbands. Because, ladies, I'm going to flip the script on us for a minute. Guess what? After this baby comes and you're making milk and you're crampy and your bottom hurts and you got hemorrhoids and you're trying to poop and you got baby, you need to speak his love language because he's going to be doing the very best he can. But he needs to be loved too. And postpartum can be a difficult time for a dad to assimilate, a partner to assimilate what they've seen, the journey that woman has been on. How do I best support her? But also, who supports me? So I often say, dads, if you want to feed your baby, feed your mom. If you want to water your baby, water your mom. If you want to love your baby, love your mama. Because moms really have to do a lot of that early piece, right? But meanwhile, moms, we need to give back to our partners. And if he's touched, remember the 5-minute rule? 5 minutes of your day changes his life. 5 minutes, and he now feels valued and loved and supported and needed. It's amazing how transformative this is. His quality time. Carve out 10 minutes. I know we talk about how overwhelming the postpartum period is, and it is. In fact, I'm going to be at Elwood's tomorrow night talking about your baby moon. Carve out 10 minutes of eyeball time with him. Sit down, hear about his day, and be present to that. Think hard. Maybe you need to buy gifts for him so that after the baby comes, you have the best dad t-shirt ready, or you have something that you can give him that will be of value. Listen, folks. If we're not loved the way we need to be loved in our spirit and in our soul, it's like pouring water into a vacuum. Like, I can get all the gifts in the world and it really doesn't do much for my spirit. We want to nourish and encourage and value each other's souls, right? We want to go deeper than, good job there, mama, good job. Like, we want to really reach into those spaces. And so finding the love language that works for them, not us, them, is critical. So folks, thank you for joining me today. I would encourage you to go, there's books out, there's all sorts of information out there, but listen, go online, have your partner and you take the love language quiz. There's lots of them out there. I can post a few if you'd like. And find out, and then explore with each other what that looks like for you, and do it before labor starts, and see how that changes your perspective of each other and of how you love each other. This is Karina with Embrace. We're doing Baby Moonin' at Elwood's tomorrow night, a talk about an hour long about how to really survive and thrive through that first week or two. And we always welcome you to come join us for tours on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Give us a call. Thanks, everybody.